Well, thank you so very much. And gracias por la invitación. Ha sido como 20 años que hablé español. No es muy bueno ahora, pero serví una misión por mi iglesia en San José, California, y me gusta español y todos quien está aquí hoy. Y Terrell habla mucho mejor que yo. So thank you all for coming. What am I binging? Oh, geez, that's a really great question. Jorel, what are you binging right now?
I'm just excited to be here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Good answer. I just watched Hustle on Netflix recently. It's the new Adam Sandler movie with about basketball and coaching and stuff as well. So anyway, that's what I'm checking out. But thankful you're all here. So a little bit about myself, and I'll kick it over to Terrell in a little bit. I am Jared Olson. I'm the Vice President of People Experience with JobNimbus, and a little bit about myself. You can see a picture of my family up here. I met my wife when we were 14 years old in the 8th grade. And we have 3 boys. I've got a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old, and then tomorrow I'm going to have a 4-year-old. So Milo's birthday is tomorrow, which is really exciting. I also love my faith and love my connection with God. I love spending my time at JobNimbus. I've been with the company for a little over a year now, and we have an amazing team, and Jorel being one of those people that we just are so grateful for. And then I also do love to meet cool people and share their stories online. So feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn if you just search for Jared Olson. And I use the hashtag People of Silicon Slopes. So we're based in Utah, and in Lehi, Utah is where our headquarters are, which is called the Silicon Slopes. You got the Silicon Valley, and then in Utah, you got the Silicon Slopes. And so I just love sharing stories of the cool people that are part of our community. And that's a little bit about myself, but I would love to talk to you a little bit about what our company does. So we are on a mission to make contractors heroes. Our CEO, Ben Hodson, actually is a bit of a Renaissance man. He's written several comic books, has written some short films, and won some film festivals, and is the world's foremost expert on the year 1984 and the movies made in that year. He has seen every single movie made inside that year and can tell you all sorts of stuff about it. But because he loves film and comics, we love the concept of the hero's journey. And so we're really on a mission of trying to make our contractors heroes. And our software is the simplest way to think of it is we're a software tool, a CRM like Salesforce, but for home exterior contractors. So people that work on the outside of a house, roofers, solar panel companies, windows, door companies, everything else as well. And we try to make their business a lot better through our software. But let's talk about the hero's journey for just a second. So every hero goes on the same journey. You have this initial phase where you depart and you go on an adventure, and then you go into this initiation phase where you prepare for a big ordeal, and then you return a better version of yourself. And so to kind of bring this to life and to go in a little bit more detail, I thought we'd just look through the lens of Nacho Libre. I absolutely love Nacho Libre. Is one of my favorite films, and I just love it to death. So let's talk a little bit about the journey that Nacho actually goes on, and it starts with Ignacio. Ignacio is a priest. He's actually working in an orphanage with children, and it's this very ordinary world for him. And he one day is going into town to get some food because one of his duties is that he prepares the food. So he's in town, he's on his motorcycle, and he sees this luchador poster, and he gets this call to adventure of learning about what luchadors do. And so he then decides one day while he's going to pick up some chips, he actually meets Ignacio, or not Ignacio, Skeleton is what his name is in the ring. And this becomes his mentor. And a Skeleton has these very quick skills, and Ignacio's got the strength. And Skeleton starts teaching Ignacio some of the things that they can actually do inside the ring together and how they can tag team. And at first he's thinking, all right, maybe I should go and I should be a luchador. But he talks to Encarnacion, who's the love interest in the film. And while they're talking over some toast, he says, I think I'm going to be a luchador. And Encarnacion says, it's a sin. You're not supposed to do that. And he's like, you're right. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to refuse the actual call. So he refuses the call. And then he actually decides one night with a skeleton that they're actually going to go and they're going to wrestle for the very first time and be luchadors. And that's true for all of us. And this is most common when you think about job searching. So for those of you that are looking for a job right now, you're learning about JobNimbus right now. You just learned about Progressive Leasing. And as you learn about these other companies today, you might refuse the call. You might say, I don't know if that's the right fit for me, but eventually you're going to cross the threshold and enter into that company, and then you're going to start with them, which puts you into the initiation phase. So there's several steps within initiation, and the initiation can actually be long or short depending on how you look at the journey. If you look at it through the lens of a company, your tenure that you would have working for us with JobNimbus would be your initiation, and then you'd return a better version of yourself. But you may have a project, you may have a specific thing that you're doing, and that initiation phase goes a little bit quicker. So when you get into the initiation phase, you actually start by having allies. And so one of the allies that Ignacio has is Chancho. And Chancho has these stretchy pants, and Ignacio borrows those from him. And there's even a scene where Chancho blocks the TV so that the kids in the orphanage can't see Nacho wrestling, right? He's the ally inside the orphanage for him. And there are several tests that actually happen. One of the tests is that Ignacio needs to drink the yolk of an eagle egg because that will give him eagle powers. So he has to climb this big mountain, get the yolk, has to drink it, and then it gives him those special powers. And there's several other things. He fights with a bull and a couple other things also. And then there are enemies. And in Nacho Libre, you have the dreaded Ramses. Ramses is super strong, super good, and just wears a lot of oil. It's obsessive how much oil they lather all over him. But Ramses is the enemy inside this film. And there's several trials. So as Ignacio becomes Nacho Libre, he starts to wrestle with a bunch of different people. And there's even a point where Ramses tries to remove his mask, right? And that's where Chancho comes in and help. And so just lots of different trials as he's figuring out who he is inside the ring. Well, what happens is Nacho loses. He loses the final fight. He's not going to be able to make it to go against Ramses one-on-one. And so he goes back to the orphanage and he's praying. This is him preparing for this approach and this big deal. And while he's praying, his robe catches on fire. And so it catches on fire and he runs outside and it's revealed that he is in fact Nacho Libre, not just Ignacio. And so he kicks himself out of the orphanage. He goes and he lives in the wilderness. And then his mentor comes back to him and says, guess what? The guy who took second place, he got injured and he can't fight in the final bout anymore. So you're in. And so Ignacio goes and prepares to actually be in the final fight where he goes against Ramses. And that is when he then returns and becomes a better version of himself. And it starts with a resurrection. Where he goes in, he fights Ramses, he summons the eagle powers that he has, and Nacho Libre is victorious. And once he becomes victorious, he gets this big reward. The reward is he gets this bus that he gets to take all of the orphans in. He's able to provide better food for everyone, and he gets to spend time with the love interest Encarnacion at the end as well. And Nacho's Libre, his story is not different from almost anyone else. You can look at any other film, you can look at most characters out there, they have this journey, and the same is true for all of us in life. We all go through the same cycle of the hero's journey. And so we're excited for Terrell to join us today and to tell us a little bit about his journey. So Terrell, I'll kick it over to you, my friend, and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into it.
Thanks, Jared, and thanks everyone. I'm appreciative of being invited and being able to share some things here with you about me. And so I grew up here in Provo all my life. I went to Provo High School. Go Bulldogs. I have 3 kids. My oldest is 14. She's actually at a camp out right now with the young women in the ward. So my 10-year-old son, and then I got a 6-year-old, my littlest girl. One cool thing is they were all born in March. So we celebrate their birthdays all in March. And on top of that, we got married in March as well. So it's like Christmas again in March for us. I'm happy to spend time with my family. I play drums for a hobby, so I truly enjoy everything about drums, and I always look for ways to learn new things on them, and always squeeze in some time for practice. But well, that's me as far as Terrell goes. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about um, my journey here and how everything started and how I got acquainted with JobNimbus. Um, so before my ordinary world, as we would call it, on this hero journey, I used to be a full-time claims adjuster, and it was taking claims for automobile accidents and property damage. I did that for about 4 years. That just involved investigating and talking to a whole bunch of people, resolving and gathering the facts and evidences, and then making a decision to, take liability or deny liability on those claims. And I learned a lot there, talking to a whole bunch of different people, and a lot of experiences in different types of accidents. So as I was doing that, at the 4-year mark, about that time, I got really good with claims. I was able to advance in the skills that it required. But with time, there's that call to adventure where I decided to learn something new, see what else was out there. And not because the claims job was bad, it's just simply because I wanted to receive other challenges. I wanted to be able to push myself and grow a little more, and go beyond that ceiling that I was already hitting there. So at that point, I began looking just casually at different jobs. And at first it was daunting on that refusal to the call, where that portion of the Nacho Libre story, where he's refusing to take the call. It's always daunting to take a choice, right, of leaving a company where you've been with for so long, and you question if it's the right thing to do. And you have all these people around you just giving you different suggestions and different advices, and some tell you to stay, some tell you should go. And so that refusal just got stronger and stronger, until I decided to cross that threshold. As I was looking through jobs, normally when you find a job, maybe you have the expectancy of being referred, or somebody knows you within the company. In my case, I found JobNimbus online and read about them, and I was intrigued about what they do and how they help the construction industry with their software. And I just decided to go for it. I submitted my application, and within 2 weeks later, I got an interview. I was hired after a couple of interviews, and I am so grateful I crossed that threshold at that point, because it's been such a great opportunity to be here at JobNimbus. Then, at coming onto JobNimbus, it was a whole new beginning for me. It helped me achieve the first thing that I was looking forward to, which was meeting new people, working with new people, and that's where the allies come in. The support team is by far, here at JobNimbus, for me, has been by far one of the best teams I've ever worked with. And not just because of the way they receive you when you come in, but because the culture here just made it feel like I had already known these groups of individuals for years. It just felt like family. Everybody went above and beyond to help me achieve my goals and become successful at my new position, which was extremely helpful in making it easy for me to make that transition from what I was doing to the new job position. And then comes the test and trials that came along. Learning JobNimbus and helping customers the best way possible became one of my top goals. And at the same time, I did struggle with learning the product a little bit, what each component would do and what it was tailored to do for in different industries, because we have the roofing, the remodelers, we have the solar industry as well. And, they use JobNimbus, they all use JobNimbus, but I soon learned that all of them tailor it to their needs, and understanding those needs was kind of a working in process for me. And so then, the approach that I quickly learned was that team commitment was a big one in support, and that culture is really strong in that department, and just all around in JobNimbus as well. And so I quickly learned that I had to become hands-on and to provide feedback and still be able to help others while I was still learning. At that point, my ordeal during that initial journey, learning journey, it did feel like I probably would not be as good as the team needed me to be. At times, I felt like giving up just because of the challenges, and sometimes just overall, technology is great when it works, but when it goes down, or when we have a glitch or something goes like an outage, then we have to really just keep positive and maintain the customers happy as best as possible. So it does become a challenge. However, my teammates were there. They never gave up in helping me. And, I just felt like I needed to give more back to them. So upon crossing that ordeal, I then came up to the resurrection part of my journey. And that's where I decided to push myself out of that comfort zone, test the waters, go more deeper in the waters, and that way I could really see where I was at that point, and what I needed to build upon to get to where I wanted to be. That helped me build confidence, trust in myself. It became a reality for me that it is possible to do a 360 turn, to do something different than what I was doing before, and actually be good with it. And then that reward is just that making a change, can be daunting, but I believe that the values in this company made that difference for me in a short time. I have continued here in support just simply because I love support. I did look into an escalations role. I looked into a team lead role, but I figured helping customers and helping my team is where I want to be at this time. I was recently promoted to senior support specialist, where I still continue to help customers and enjoy working with them under this awesome team. So I'm very grateful to be here at JobNimbus, and glad that I took that chance in that hero journey to become acquainted with awesome people like Jared. He's really awesome to work with, and tu español está muy bueno, Jared. Entonces no te preocupes.
Trato, pero. Well, Terrell, we're so thankful for you, man, and we're grateful for the journey that you're taking with us. And as you can all see today, we have amazing people, and it's really our people that make the difference. And so, Terrell, thank you. We'll have Terrell stick on, and we'll do a little bit of Q&A if we have some time as well. But I did just want to review a couple other things that you might find interesting. We actually have a belonging committee that we put together. It consists from various people from all over the company, from different backgrounds and walks of life, and we review a lot of analytics together as we get together with the belonging committee. And so here's just like some of those where we understand like vulnerability. We understand if people feel like they can belong and be their true authentic self at work. And then we also are trying to make sure that we're becoming more inclusive and diverse as well. And being based in Utah, the second largest population in the state is our Latino and Hispanic community. And so we're really trying to find more Latinos that are interested in joining the company as well. And it probably is a good time to call out that we do look for people in the state of Utah. And if you don't live here right now, then we would still be happy to talk, to interview, talk about roles. And then if you're open for relocation, we'd love for you to come join us in the office. We're really trying to build something special together here. And our belonging committee is part of what's pushing that, of bringing us together. So if you haven't already done so, just on Fairstream, you just want to click apply. That's going to take you to our career page, but I did want to outline some of the open roles that we have available. And in the chat, I've noticed that we've got some onboarding, software developers, executive assistants. We've got a lot of different roles that are out there, and we have a lot of those open as well. Our customer experience team is hiring right now. We are looking for people in onboarding. We are looking to add people in the future to Jarrell's team as well. We're always looking for IT and software development positions, regardless of your level, especially if you have like iOS or Android experience. That's a tricky one for us to find. But most of our customers are contractors, and they're outside working on their cell phones. And so our mobile app is a huge thing that we need in software development. And then we have sales roles open. We're always looking for good SDRs, people that want to call, talk to contractors, and then help do introductions with our account executives. I also thought you might find it interesting to learn a little bit about some of our benefits and what we value. And so we have a couple of different company values. The first one is being self-driven. Now, when it comes to being self-driven, we want to make sure that people can focus on what matters in life and not have to worry about the basics. So we actually provide 100% covered medical insurance for you and your entire family. And we have an HSA plan where we match dollar for dollar on that. And we have a 401k. So we've got a lot of the basic benefits out there at no cost to you. And we just want to make sure that you know that you're taken care of so you can focus on being driven in your life, which takes us into our next value, which is life balance. We love life balance and taking time to be with our family when we need to be there and at work. And there are times where the seasons ebbs and flow. We might have more time at work and the time where we have more time at home. But we've created something called Hero Time. It's a minimum amount of time off. So instead of being a traditional PTO policy, we ask that people take at least 3 days of time off per quarter. And then we also ask that they take a life balance day. So that's a day where you disconnect from your normal routine, go by yourself without technology, meditate, pray, live in your head, do something by yourself to refocus on the next quarter. And then there's important holidays that matter for everyone. So we allow people to choose 2 holidays on their own that they can celebrate and honor in their own way. Additionally, we have proactive learning. We love when people learn, so we have guest speakers come in. We do weekly all-hands meetings where we cater lunch at those, and we review the company financials. We're very transparent and just want people to know how the company is performing. We also have a company value of delivering customer value. We do a lot in the community. And some of our favorite things that we do is we actually partner with Habitat for Humanity, and we do all roofs for Habitat for Humanity inside our county. So if anybody needs a new roof, they come to us and our company gets to go help with that. We also do other corporate social responsibility challenges. Like we last quarter partnered with a group called Village Book Builders, where we worked with students, about 50 different students in Uganda, and we helped teach them literacy and how to read. And then this actually next week, we start a new challenge where we're doing a food bank challenge to see how much money and donations we can raise for the Utah Food Bank. Most food banks are ignored during summer months, and so we want to make sure that we're doing something to give back. And then our other company value is being team committed. We do quarterly activities together as a team, and then we do something annually we call Hirocon. And Hirocon is where we go with everyone in the whole company gets to go on the trip. It's 100% free, and you get to bring a +1. We have shared experiences. Last year we went to Cabo San Lucas. The year before that we went to Maui, and this year we're going to Baja California on a Carnival cruise. And so I thought you might find it interesting to see a little video of what Hirocon looks like. Turn this volume up here. Okay, so that was just a little bit of us hanging out at Cabo San Lucas. We're excited for our next one that we'll be able to do soon in Baja California. So come work for us and you get to join us on the cruise. Just so you know about our interview process, once you apply online, that will actually go to our corporate recruiter, whose name is Nick Cook. Nick is actually getting married today. So he's at his wedding. So if you reach out to him, be like, congratulations, easy icebreaker for you. Then he'll schedule a phone screen. If that goes well, we'd bring into the office to do a cultural tour to see it in person. And then we'd have you meet with our hiring managers as well. But we're so thankful to be able to partner with the Latinx community. And gracias por su tiempo today. Y ayúdanos si hay algo que podemos hacer para ayudar, dinos. I don't know how I did that. I feel like I did bad at the very end, but I'm trying. Anyway, thanks everybody. We appreciate you. Do we have any time for questions or are we out?
You probably, if there's like one question, you can do like one question.
Great. Type in your question. Make it a hard one for Terrell. Just kidding. Make it a really easy one.
Jared, you can probably stay on the chat as well if you want to just chat with them. You don't have to leave.
Oh, fantastic.
Chat. Yeah.
Great. All your questions, throw in there.
So it's great having you guys. Thank you so much. We look forward to having you at the next event. And thank you for sharing about yourselves, the company. Can I come on the next vacation, on the next trip? Is that
just come work for us? You just come work for us, and then heck yeah, you can.
All right. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.